Hi YouTube, we're back with this multiplayer sandbox session with Ellias. In the last video, we noticed a major flaw in our city's construction. We had too many roads, which made it difficult to properly control our patrollers' movements. It's clear we need to simplify these roads. So, I started by removing the entire northern section of the residential district I built at the very beginning. It's a shame to have to start over, but oh well. I did keep one row of houses, though. This row now marks the northern boundary of the first residential district, where all of Ellias's houses are located. To emphasize this boundary, I added a row of decorations to make it visually clear and placed roadblocks on every tile to ensure that patrols won't cross. Ellias made fun of me because I went a bit overboard with the roadblocks, but hey, better safe than sorry, right? Now I can start building the houses and other structures for this new district. As usual, I plan to create a large square with 2 rows of houses. Well, maybe I shouldn't have built that row of decoration to the south of this new district, but it's fine. I'll demolish them if needed. For now, I only want the tax office to be in the south. All the other buildings can be placed in the north. As usual, I'm going to place a hospital, a maintenance post, and a well. I'll just remove this tree to make room for the well, and once that's done, all the basic services will be set up. After thinking it over, I'm going to change my habits. I'll do it like Ellias to make the city look nicer. I'll add a row of decorations between the 2 rows of houses. This means I'll have to tear everything down again. But it's fine, I have enough money to afford it. Since I'm rebuilding everything anyway, why not let Ellias place his houses on this new row? After all, we decided to make our cities completely mixed, so it would make sense. Besides, he needs more workers than I do to keep everything running smoothly. What do you think, Ellias? He's hesitating, but I won't give him much of a choice. You'll see, before long, he'll have placed his houses in that spot. Since Ellias is already producing the initial resources for our houses, I can also place the tavern. This way, the houses will immediately upgrade to the maximum level they're eligible for with the resources we're producing. Well, that's what I say, but it's not entirely true. There's always some inertia when it comes to upgrading or downgrading houses. Take this new district I just built as an example. Even if I provide water, food, access to a tavern, and furniture, you'll notice that the houses don't instantly jump from level 0 to level 5. They'll progress through each level at a rate of about 2 levels per month. While the houses are upgrading and new residents are moving in, I'm taking this time to check on how the furniture industries are doing. With a quick glance, I can see that my warehouse is full of wood and Ellias's warehouse is full of furniture. That's a good sign. It means our furniture production is exceeding the city's consumption. Wait, maybe I'm jumping to conclusions here. If my warehouse is empty, it means I'm delivering all the furniture to my market, but does that necessarily mean the houses have enough furniture to upgrade? It doesn't seem like it. You can clearly see that the houses near the market have furniture, but the others don't. I'll have to add some exchange centers to speed up the transfer of furniture between Ellias and me. Wait a second, I've been completely wrong from the start. In reality, we don't need to exchange furniture at all. Ellias can easily take furniture from his market and supply my houses, just like he already does with food. Merchants don't just distribute goods to their owners' houses, they deliver to all houses. I just need to buy furniture to allow Ellias to earn money and continue developing his city. Now that the furniture issue is sorted out, I need to prepare the next step in our city's development. The houses will soon require tools to upgrade. For that, I need to start producing iron. I found a nice spot where Ellias and I can set up our industries. There's plenty of space to fit everything. Since houses tend to consume a lot of tools, I'll plan for a large-scale iron production. This will give me some flexibility for the future. On top of that, I'll quickly have a lot of workers available, and I don't want to deal with too much unemployment. You might find the way I'm building the furnaces a bit strange. I've left a lot of space between them. If you look closely, you'll see that these spaces are actually pathways to provide quicker access to the iron ore. I'm trying to do this to optimize the miners' harvesting process. One misclick later, I placed a maintenance office to look after all the buildings here and set up the warehouse to accept only iron. I already do the same for gold and other resources. Look at how beautiful our city is now. All the houses in the southern district are just waiting to receive tools to upgrade. The only problem is in the right corner, where things aren't going so well. In this version of the game, the markets are really limited on resources and they can't answer to the needs of so many houses. Since these houses are running low on food for their current level, I asked Ellias to add another market to meet the demand. He'll have to place it on the right side anyway, there's no more room on the other side. It looks like I'll have to remove one of the roadblocks I placed to allow merchants to reach the houses. Roads, like buildings, have an owner. You can build your roads and roadblocks on your teammates' existing roads, but for now, only the owner has the right to destroy them. This might be something I'll change in the future. We'll see. I'm going to add a tax center to steal some of Elias's taxes. While he's busy with the market, maybe he won't notice. Oh no, he saw me. I've got no choice, I'll have to delete it. That's strange, he's also telling me the tax rate is set to 0. Just checking the date, I understand his surprise. Every year, the tax is reset to 0. So, if you activate the tax view in January, you'll see all the houses in red. If you really want to check whether you're missing any taxes, you need to observe your city around November or December. Only then will you know if your tax collectors have done their job properly. I'm going to check if everything is running smoothly in terms of production. Let's start by looking at the iron mines. It seems everything is going well. The first batches of iron are now in the warehouse. Ellias can start producing tools. As for food, everything is fine too. We have plenty to go around. But I still have a doubt. Do you remember when I talked about a limit for markets in the previous video? That seems to be the case with the new market we built. We'll need to bring the food closer to the market since the market doesn't seem willing to go to the food. Ellias is asking if this might cause problems and whether he should set up a caravanserai to transport food to the new market. In my humble opinion, that's not necessary right now. When I see the number of carts loaded with food waiting in front of the granaries, I'm confident that the new granary will absorb the food surplus and there won't be any issues for a while. While we watch the food cart fill the new granary, I'd like to clarify something about exchange centers and food. Merchants from exchange centers cannot collect resources from granaries. They only have access to goods stored in warehouses, where they have priority for collection. I implemented this limitation to ensure that producers have priority access to the food they produce. This rule is especially important in the versus mode I'm currently working on. Most of the elements for this new mode are already implemented in the game. However, I don't want to give access to it yet, as I haven't tested it much so far. I want to be sure the gameplay is correct before giving you access. Oops, I forgot something for these houses. Let me quickly check what they need. It looks like I forgot to add a gymnasium. While I am here, I will add more decoration. It's always good to put more decoration than necessary as they take a lot of spaces. Should I also build the next service for these houses before I forget? No. I'll add them in the future. I don't like having useless buildings using my manpower. I'm not like Ellias, who already places everything in his district. I'm going to help Ellias by placing the roads for him. I'm sure this will surprise him. And indeed, he is surprised. Now, he's even complaining. But then again, since he's French, should I really be surprised? It's great, tool production is about to start now. Everything is set up on his side. Now I'm going to buy the tools so he can maintain his economy. But if we ever run out of tools, he can deliver them himself. I've placed a warehouse to store the purchased tools. It will be the collection point for my markets. I also built 2 exchange centers to collect the tools. Since there's a bit of distance and we'll need a lot of tools, I think 2 won't be too many. I might even need to build more. As you can see, my treasury is in good shape. Overall, it's looking good. But I'm still going to add a minting workshop to make sure I never run into any problems. I still have some gold bars saved up. This is good because Ellias will be able to start producing jewelry as soon as he wants. The city seems to be in good shape, but these buildings aren't at the level one expect. Looking at the details, I can see that their food stock is at 0. They'll therefore drop down to level 1. It's really a shame. We need to fix this quickly. Ellias, can you add a market to deliver food to the northern district? Ellias just finished what he was working on. He's now going to build a new market near the granaries. I'm going to take this opportunity to check that mine is properly distributing furniture. The stock in this one is low. I'm wondering if furniture production is keeping up with the demand as our population grows. It doesn't seem to be. There's no furniture available, even though I still have wood on hand. Ellias will need to build a new exchange center to buy more wood. The one he has now can't keep up with the pace of our expansion. I also asked Ellias to give me some space so I can build a new market next to his. That way, I'll be able to distribute furniture and tools more quickly. Ellias now has tools in his warehouses, and my merchants are no longer waiting in front of their buildings. They're probably on their way to buy the tools. Soon, we'll be able to see the first houses upgrade to the next level. So far, I've been focused on showing you the game and what's been happening in our session. But over the next few minutes, while we wait for tool production and distribution to settle, I'd like to take this moment in the video to share a more personal message with you. I worked on this project with one and only one goal: to create a game like Zeus, Master of Olympus, but with multiplayer. I wanted adult me to finally have what child me always dreamed of. I wouldn't go as far as to say I've created the game of my dreams, not even close. But I've made a city builder that high school me would have loved to play with friends over LAN. Between 2 games of Age of Mythology, it would have been amazing to have a game like this to relax with. When I started this project, I had already been waiting for 15 years for a multiplayer city builder. A game where I could share a map with friends and build a city together, like the one we're building here. Over all that time, I convinced myself that such a game didn't exist because it was technically too difficult to create. So, when I began my project, I kept that challenge in mind. I started by creating a single-player city builder, then added multiplayer. At first, I thought of multiplayer as just a nice bonus feature, something potentially very cool, but not essential. Then, after months of work, when I finally managed to create a stable and performant multiplayer mode, I was over the moon. I still am, but at the same time, I couldn't help but wonder, why hasn't this been done before? Why hasn't the gaming industry given us a multiplayer city builder like this sooner? Since then, I've started to feel a bit sad. It's a shame that the video game industry hasn't explored this niche more. And it's disheartening that my project is still largely unknown outside my circle of friends. Today, I've come to accept that my game will probably never find widespread success, and that's okay. But if I can show the world that city builder fans also want multiplayer experiences, that we don't want to be limited to single-player games, then I'll consider my project a huge success. All this to say, I need your help. If you've made it this far into the video, it means you probably love city builders as much as I do, maybe even more, and that you, too, want to see more multiplayer city builders. So, I'm humbly asking for your advice. Do you know where I could post a message to get the word out about my project? I've always been shy, and I'm not a fan of social media. I have no idea where my project would be welcome. If you have ideas, please feel free to share them in the comments, or even share this video. It would mean the world to me. After that little speech, let's get back to the game. You've probably noticed that I've crossed the 1,000 inhabitant mark in my city. To celebrate, I built a monument right in front of my houses. You can also see that some houses have already received tools. The city has progressed nicely. It's funny to see that Ellias has already planned ahead. I don't work like that at all. But he's not wrong. Buildings that aren't connected to a road don't have workers, and a building without workers isn't at risk of catching fire. So, there's absolutely no problem with doing that. It's a clever move. After seeing that, I decided to strengthen the tool exchanges. It would be a real shame to run out, especially since I have plenty of workforce to handle it and the demand for tools is very high. This is particularly important right now because the merchants need to supply all the houses for the first time. Once the house's stock is full, the merchants will only need to replenish what has been consumed since their last visit. In theory, the demand should be lower after that. Now that the city is progressing well, this is where this video ends before we start new production or I show you the problems we encountered. Hope you enjoyed and see you next time.